What's going on? Live here on YouTube. You will probably be watching this a little bit later. I doubt anybody watching it now, but it'll be available. Guess what? School doesn't have any internet. So I'm going to make this here as an intro to class. And if we have internet by the time class, I'll probably just play this as an introduction to the class. But today we're going to talk about, well, CNN 10, as we normally do. It doesn't seem like I'm in the middle. Okay. CNN from March 18th, and then also the country of Bulgaria. So I have it here, and I'll do what I normally do live in class. We'll record it, and hopefully your internet. I'm recording it on my phone. I don't have a tripod, so it's probably going to get tired. But please watch this video, and then watch CNN 10, and then the geography now for Bulgaria. But what I want to do is just do like I normally do and set up what you're going to watch. So for CNN 10, the first thing you're going to see is talk about antibodies and when fighting the coronavirus. They're going to give you a lot of statistics about March 2021, this March right now. And they're going to use these statistics. These statistics come from blood donors. So experts estimate about 25% of the population in the United States has had the coronavirus and has recovered. Once they've been sick, their body most likely will produce what's called antibodies. Antibodies are so important for us because once we have an illness and we've been able to survive it and fight it off, excuse me, the body has antibodies that will make it less likely for us to get sick with the same virus again. Now, watching. Nice. What's up, Caleb? Excuse me. And this is live. Maybe I should go get some water. But I'm going to be playing this because we don't have internet here. My internet just went down, so I need to make it with one hand. Antibodies are super important. You can get antibodies to a lot of viruses, like a common cold. Unfortunately, though, one thing they're going to talk about in CNN 10 is chicken pox. Now, let's see, can I do this here? My arm, it might save my arm. You might have had the chicken pox before, but you might not have. You might have had the vaccine. Back in my day, when I was a little kid, I got the chicken pox. The great thing about getting the chicken pox is that it's very unlikely you will get it again because your body produces the antibodies, and I'm not saying you will never, but you probably won't get it. Some adults get it, and we call it shingles. It's similar. But another statistic from CNN 10 is that 40% of the people who have had the coronavirus never had symptoms at all. And like I said, they're finding a lot of this out through blood donations, that about 25% of Americans' antibodies for the coronavirus are showing up in their blood, which means they're less likely to get the coronavirus again. How long? Is it like the chicken pox? You'll never get it again? Probably not. It's probably more like the common cold. You might have those antibodies for a couple months, good to go, but you might get it again. Then we have the whole problem, new variants, like the UK variant, the South African variant, the Brazilian variant. If you get the coronavirus, let's say the OG, the original, right? What if someone near you has a variant from UK? They have that strain. Do those antibodies protect you, the ones you've obtained from having the original one? This stuff is so new that even the best scientists in the world are not entirely sure yet. Other thing I want to talk about is tornadoes. That'll be the next thing. Yesterday, some tornadoes went through Alabama and Mississippi. My wife is from Alabama. I graduated from the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. And there were some tornadoes that went through. And last night, my wife and I were glued to the TV set waiting to hear updates. Luckily, as far as we know, our family and friends, they were spared. But in 2011, they weren't. My wife owned the house that she grew up in, and that thing was completely destroyed. I looked for a few pictures to put up, but it was 2011. The pictures didn't really tell a great story. We had to fly down. It was in April 28th, 2011. We had to leave school, fly down, take care of some insurance stuff. The house was just totaled. Luckily, it doesn't seem like that widespread damage happened yesterday. People did lose their homes, but luckily nobody was killed, at least that I know of. But it wasn't the case in 2011. This is not in CNN 10, but my wife, like I said, we had to fly there. There was somebody renting the house. He was injured. It was just totally destroyed. If anybody would like more information on how life changes after a tornado destroys your house, I have a little bit of insight. Luckily, my house was still okay up here in Maine, but it just involves so much work, finding else, dealing with insurance companies. And if your house is destroyed on your property, you still own the land. And one thing a lot of people don't realize until it happens is you have to restore that land to its natural state. So you're responsible for cleaning up all that debris, all that mess that was your house. And you definitely want to have some good insurance for that. Hey, the last thing about CNN 10, Maine makes an appearance towards the end. I don't want to say why, but towards it does. Now let's move on to Bulgaria. So hopefully you're going to watch CNN 10. All of the 5 left, those will be filled in. The next thing I'm going to ask you to watch is Geography Now for Bulgaria. It's about 13 minutes. We're up to about 23 minutes of class, and with this intro, this is probably the entire class. Even though this is, anytime you have a question, leave it in the chat, and I'll definitely see it, because I'm still watching. I have to watch myself again. I made this, and now I'm watching myself again. Cringy. Probably cringy for you to watch as well. But let's talk about Bulgaria. I wanted to pull up a map of Bulgaria, but all I'm getting is just this spinning. Internet's not working. You know what? Actually, I might not be able to chat with you. Get with me on email if you have any questions. Because if the internet doesn't come back up, there's no way. That's why I'm making this video. With me on email. Jeez. I hope I can put all this up on Google Classroom too. Bulgaria now. Please look this up on the map. Geography Now doesn't really show it compared to the whole world, but we're talking like Eastern Europe. So if you know where Turkey is, if you know where Romania is, if you know where like former Yugoslavia, like Bosnia, Albania, it's in that area. So I think when most Americans think of Bulgaria and you hear, hey, let's go on vacation to Bulgaria, you might be like, what? No way. It's a beautiful country. I would love to go visit Bulgaria. I really would. And for Americans, it's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap. If we were in class together, I would ask, hey, do you know what a digital nomad is? And since you can't answer me right now, let me just tell you. A digital nomad is someone who basically works online. So it doesn't matter where they actually live, because their job is like, I'm not a digital nomad, but if I was just teaching online like I'm doing this year, I might be considered a digital nomad. So I could live anywhere in the world and still teach you, theoretically. That's what a digital nomad is. They just work off their laptop. It doesn't matter where they're at. Bulgaria is a great place for digital nomads. Cheap to live. You're still making money from the internet, so you don't have to convert it to Bulgaria. They're actually part of the EU. So the EU currency, is it the pound? The pound, I think. No, actually, I think Bulgaria still uses the lei. They call it the lei. So you don't have to convert your money into Bulgarian lei if you don't want to. You're just making that money. Who knows? It could be in American dollars, most likely, and you get to spend it in Bulgaria. So Bulgaria is cheap. It's actually pretty nice. It has beautiful beaches. If you look at the map, they're located, their eastern border is right along the Black Sea. And you might think, oh, Black Sea, it sounds kind of gross, but it's a lot like Iceland. It sounds really cold, but it's actually more green than Greenland when we talked about that before. So the Black Sea is beautiful, a massive sea. I would love to go one day. And I've told my wife, like, I want to go to Bulgaria. In Geography Now, they're going to mention Pan-Slav, but they never exactly explain what that is. So Pan, there's also the Pan-American. You might hear that. So Pan-American, America, not just the United States. We're talking North and South America. So Canada, Mexico, Honduras, Brazil, Chile. That's Pan-American. So across the Americas, North and South. Pan-Slav, there are some, an ethnic group who identify as Slavs. So we're talking Russians, Romanians, Bulgarians, Poles, people from Poland, maybe not Hungary. Hungary might be a bad example. They might identify as something else. Magyar, maybe. But they almost all would speak what's called the Slavic language, like Russian and Bulgarian, Polish, Slavic, Ukrainian, Belarusian. So they mention Pan-Slav in Geography Now, but they don't explain it. So Pan-Slav would be those countries I mentioned. Russia would be the biggest Slavic country, but also Poland and Ukraine, Belarus, Bulgaria. And the last thing I think I want to mention, the last thing about Bulgaria. If you ever visit Bulgaria, one of the interesting things about like their culture and communication is that this is actually yes, and this is no. So just a thought, if you ever want to become a digital nomad and move to Bulgaria, that's one of the things you'll have to watch out for. All right, let me see if I can stop this, and I will put this on Google Classroom. So hopefully this is the first thing you watch for the day. You'll finish up with Geography Now, and in the middle, hopefully you'll watch CNN 10. All right, see you later. Thanks for watching.